Join me as I challenge myself to create a stunning summer landscape using just finger painting, and I have only 5 minutes to do it. Finger painting is an amazing way to express yourself and relax, and today I want to show you how you can create a beautiful summer landscape using this fun and easy technique. It's perfect for anyone who wants to tap into their creative side, regardless of their skill level or experience. I know that when it comes to creating art, a lot of people can feel overwhelmed or intimidated. They might think that they're not good enough, or that they don't have the skills to create something beautiful. But the truth is, art is all about experimentation and having fun. It's not about creating a perfect piece, but about enjoying the process and expressing yourself in a way that feels true to you. When we're trying to create art quickly, it can be easy to get caught up in perfectionism. We might feel like we don't have enough time to get everything just right, or that we're not good enough to create something beautiful in a short amount of time. But the key to creating art quickly is to let go of those expectations and just have fun. Don't worry too much about making mistakes, because they can often lead to new and interesting ideas. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to create art quickly is feeling like they're not good enough. They might compare themselves to other artists, or feel like they don't have the skills or experience to create something beautiful. But the truth is, everyone starts somewhere, and the most important thing is that you're having fun and enjoying the process. Okay, let's get started. To create this summer landscape, I'm using a large piece of paper, some bright and colorful paints, and of course, my fingers. I love using my fingers to paint because it's so intuitive and expressive. You can get really creative with the strokes and textures you use, and it's a great way to add some personality to your artwork. First, I'm going to start with the sky. I'm using a big, sweeping motion to create a soft, gradient effect. I'm using a light blue paint, and I'm just going to keep building up the color until I get the effect I want. You can see how the paint is starting to blend and merge together, creating a really soft and dreamy effect. Next, I'm going to add some trees. I'm using a darker green paint, and I'm using a more staccato motion to create the texture of the leaves. I'm just going to add a few trees here and there, scattered across the landscape. You can see how they're starting to add some depth and dimension to the painting. Now it's time to add some flowers. I'm using a bright yellow paint, and I'm using a really loose, expressive motion to create the petals. I'm just going to add a few flowers here and there, scattered across the landscape. You can see how they're starting to add some color and vibrancy to the painting. Finally, I'm going to add some finishing touches to the painting. I'm using a darker blue paint to add some shading and depth to the trees, and I'm using a lighter blue paint to add some highlights to the flowers, to create art. I love how it allows you to get lost in the process and just enjoy the moment. And today, I want to share that joy with you by creating a stunning summer landscape using just my fingers and some vibrant paint. I know that when it comes to creating art, many of us can feel intimidated or overwhelmed. We might think we're not good enough, or that we don't have the skills or experience to produce something beautiful. But the truth is, art is all about experimentation and having fun. And with finger painting, there's really no way to go wrong. You can't make a mistake, because every smudge or smear just adds to the character of the piece. One of the biggest challenges people face when trying to create art is getting past the fear of making mistakes. We're so afraid of not being perfect, of not meeting our own high expectations, that we often don't even try. But the thing is, perfection is boring. It's the imperfections, the quirks and the surprises, that make art truly interesting. Another challenge is feeling like you need to have extensive experience or training to create something beautiful. But that's just not true. Art is about expressing yourself, and finger painting is a great way to do that without feeling like you need to be a skilled artist. Okay, let's get started. To create our summer landscape, we're going to start with a bright blue sky. I'm using a big glob of blue paint and just smearing it all over the canvas to cover the entire background. You can use your fingers or a sponge, whatever you prefer. Next, we're going to add some fluffy white clouds. I'm using a light touch and just dabbing the paint onto the canvas to create soft, puffy clouds. You can make them as big or as small as you like, and you can even add a few streaks of blue or gray to give them some depth. Now let's add some trees. I'm using a combination of green and brown paint to create the trunks and leaves, and I'm just using my fingers to smear the paint onto the canvas. You can make your trees as tall or as short as you like, and you can even add some branches or flowers for extra detail. Let's add some finishing touches to our landscape. I'm using a small amount of yellow paint to add some sunflowers or daisies, whatever you prefer. And then I'm adding a few more streaks of blue to create a sense of movement and depth in the sky. Wow, look at how far we've come. From a blank canvas to a vibrant summer landscape, all in just a few minutes. I love how the colors and textures all come together to create this beautiful piece of art. So, to recap, all we did was start with a blue sky, add some fluffy clouds, create some trees, and then add some finishing touches with flowers and more colors. It's really that simple. Thanks so much for joining me on this finger painting adventure. If you've tried finger painting before, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below. And if you're new to finger painting, I hope this video has inspired you to give it a try. Don't forget to check out my other art tutorial videos for more inspiration.